Boom.
Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yes, yo. Here we go. You know what time it is. Ain't nobody down round here. Get that badger in and on and over here. I had to move back to get his greatness in. We've got some segments today. We're going to switch it up. We're levelling up, baby, so it probably won't work, but we're going to do as best to see if it does. Quick shit vid. Got a little bit to talk about. Just want to briefly go over yesterday. It'll end up being a decent point for us, that will, boys. We don't need to, boys and girls, boys and like 4 girls. We don't need to panic too much. The onslaught has come. The Twitter warlords are in. The keyboard warriors are in full force. I'm part of the problem, you could argue, but I get more stick than anybody else, particularly on ye olde Twitter. I don't know why. I don't know why I bother going on there, really, but it does provide me some Sunday entertainment, and it adds to the Sunday flavour. So I'm just going to go over a few topics. So, Schmidt or Byram? So I don't know what's really... And I understand the excitement of seeing a new player, and everybody wants the new players to come in and just start immediately and what have you, but I don't really understand, Farky Facky Fucker is in there with him every single day, and he's training with him. Well, he's not training with him, I'm sure he's watching them train, though, of that there's no doubt. Schmidt's played about 10 minutes. Byram was here last year. Everybody said Byram were one of the best signings last year in terms of, free transfer. It's pretty good signing. Played plenty of minutes for us. He's always puts 110% in. He does get forward, even though everybody says. The only issue I would say on the left is he does cut in on the right. He's definitely not better than Firpo. I think that's fair enough to say, but I think Firpo's probably the best left back in the league. My man Junior is crazy good in and around the box, bursting in. Byram will go to right back next week. People calling for Schmidt. Now, I understand the excitement of the new player, and we all want to see him. And is Schmidt good? Will he, when we go up to Premier League next season, which we will, of that there's no doubt, does he come into the side, etc. But can anybody tell me what Byram did wrong yesterday? I thought he should have been pulled off after about 75 minutes, 80 minutes. I thought he got a bit leggy. A few people saying that he had a ding-dong with Soloman, which I'm not 100% certain, and I just think it was frustration on Byram's front. I don't think he's going to start. He doesn't seem like that type of a lad. As I say, always puts in 110%. I thought he was better than Bogle, for instance, yesterday. Bogle seems to have... He's definitely improved over the past few games, but I'm not sure Bogle is out of the woods in terms of being even better than Luke Ayling, which frustrates everybody, but Luke Ayling's ripping it up at Middlesbrough. People from the club saying it's the best signing of the decade and stuff is Luke Ayling. He had plenty to offer. For me, I'm stuck with Leeds fans in between, Leeds fans that say all that's important is to get out of the Championship. The only thing we need to do is get players that will get us out of this Championship, which Ayling would have got us out of the Championship. I'm happy for Ayling that's gone to Middlesbrough. I'm happy he's doing well. I'm happy we've moved on. This is not even a discussion about Ayling. I just find it intriguing how Byram will get 7 or 8 out of 10, won't he? Every single time he plays for us, more or less, give or take, the odd stinker that every single footballer in the world has. We don't know anything about Schmidt. Lockie mentioned the other week that Schmidt apparently takes a year anyway. Every club he's ever been at, it's taken about a year to sort of settle in. It's a new league. It's a big risk for Farky, etc., So Byram will go right back on Saturday, and Firpo will go back in left back, and we will look lovely jubbly. I'm sure of that. Piroe and Joseph is rumbling and rustling around like there's no tomorrow. I want to add Bamford in there because ultimately Piroe, everybody's on about is, what does he offer if he's not getting goals? Well, what does any of the strikers offer if they're not getting goals? We've got enough players going forward. If somebody just wants to stand up top and take some chances, that'll do me. Piroe obviously, missed the chance yesterday. Joseph missed some really poor chances. I can't remember the game it was, but he was running towards Cop End at Ellen Road and he put it 8 yards wide. Terrible, terrible miss. He doesn't look very good in the air. I know he's got a goal for us this season, but it's not. If that were Bamford, it'd be fucking banjo, and it all goes, intense. But that is what it is. The reason why I've rated Bamford for so long is we do sort of get along with the fact that he just picks up on scraps and he's horrible to play against. He occupies both centre-backs, which is what Piroe is doing in a sense, that he's stood with the 2 centre-backs, but he's not occupying them like Bamford does. Bamford's an old-school number 9 and he's horrible to play against. I'm happy for Piroe and Joseph to be the main starters, But I don't know why we're so quick to poo-poo Bamford's contribution. He will contribute this year. I know nobody likes hearing it, but the fully fit Bamford will get us 10 goals and occupy the defence and pull the defenders back and move them around and what have you, let Nonto, heaven forbid, Soloman, Rams, James, Aronson, he'll let us break teams down. I think we should stick with Piroe Parisley. He didn't have a great deal to feed on. I think starting the game is significantly harder, and Joseph struggled with that. We've proved over the last however many games that whoever starts up top struggles. It just is what it is. Unless we get an early goal or he gets an early chance and sort of bags it in, strikers struggle. And then, the game opens up a little bit. The sub, it's so much easier as a sub as well. I'm not having this. I understand impact subs and stuff, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to come on and affect a game, but nobody's watching you like they're watching the starting lineup, and you're being naive if you think anything otherwise. If you come on after 7 minutes and don't do alt, nobody really says alt unless your name's Soloman and nobody likes you right now. Then goes, well, what did he do? What did he contribute? But we'll get to that. The midfield going forward. So in the comments, subscribe, all that stuff, as you well know. But in the comments, just put who you'd start with. I know everybody's going to say Joseph, and that's totally cool. It's totally fine. I'll stick with Piroe for now. I think he's going to get more goals over the longevity of the season. Like my man Joe Depp said, if he gets us 20 goals this season, should he start? And yes, he will get us 20 goals this season if he starts every game. Midfield going forward when everyone is fit. So obviously we've got the new gadget, Giuliani. I can't say his name, but he's not going to really feature, is he? Unless Rothwell and Tanaka need a rest right now. When everybody's back, we've got Gruev, Ampadu, Tanaka, Rothwell. What's your favourite partnership out of them two? Obviously, a lot of people saying that we want to go back to he'll go back to Ampadu and Gruev. I don't think he'll do that. I think Tanaka will remain in place. I personally think it'll be Tanaka and Ampadu. The reason why I think that is I think Tanaka can play the slightly forward role. He is currently sitting with Rothwell, but I think he can play the forward role that Rothwell's sort of occupying at the moment. I think we'll miss Rothwell's delivery, but he's a really good sub coming on. I think Gruev will end up being the fourth centre midfielder, which is pretty wild. But if you all remember, a couple of months ago, you were all asking him to get gone. The year before, you was all asking Gruev to come into the side. It's a wild world being an LUFC fan. I think the reason why Tanaka and Ampadu will work so well is when we're not up against it and we've got a lot of the ball, Ampadu can sort of let Tanaka dictate play a little bit. Tanaka can make them forward runs, follow the pass a little bit more than he currently is doing because Rothwell's doing a lot of that. But then when we are up against it, Tanaka's shown that he can hold as well. So where I feel like Gruev and Ampadu are just wanting to hold, and to be honest, the first instinct is sideways. They're not necessarily willing to risk popping ball into number 10 or out wide or clipping it or whatever. Tanaka will do that, but then when we're up against a decent side and we have to hold in and just sort of hold on to the game for 10 minutes when everybody has sequences or periods of the game where we're up against it, Tanaka and Ampadu can sit and hold, and Tanaka's proved that he can do that like dog work. So for the segment, guys, this is based on the biggest idiot in the room always wins. So you can make a joke or whatever, and if the guy don't get it, you've lost the argument. The biggest idiot in the room always wins. So in today's episode, I hope you all appreciated that. Let's have it again. Wins. We go over to Twitter. Now, I don't know whether to name these people or not. For the purpose of this one, I did some Twitter wins last week, I think last Sunday or Sunday before. But for the purpose of this one, I'm not gonna name them. But if you want them named, we'll name and shame. I don't give a shit. I don't think they watch this channel. They tend to be people that I follow, or that somebody's responded back to something that they follow by or whatever. I've never blocked anybody. I've been blocked loads on Twitter. People soft block, all sorts of wild crap. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. So on Soloman. So this one ain't too bad, but it's just wild to me. So somebody put, what's your thoughts on Soloman? Right, Soloman's got so much stick this weekend. Expected better. All right, fair enough. I mean, that's... So I'll do the quote and then I'll break the quote down. Expected better. He's clearly overweight. Get him gone in January and get a replacement in. Now, that isn't particularly the most wild thing you've ever heard, but I expected better. I don't think there's any argument that when he started the first game of the season, everybody loved him and everybody was going wild for him and saying he's so mint on ball and all this stuff. People saying he's going to be the best player in the Championship, best player the Championship's ever had, all this type of stuff. I'm still a Soloman fan. I hope he does well. He's clearly overweight. He's a diss. I don't even think the bloke's tall enough to be overweight. It'd be like a dwarf if he were, if he put on any, they don't. His proportions are slightly out. I think, the guy that said it's overweight, but that's by the by. Get him gone in January, right? This is the crazy reactionary talk that's just like, get him gone, get him out the door. Like, why? Aren't we better off just him being like the fourth best winger at the club, even if that's the case? I think we're best off just letting him be the fourth best winger in the club. What? No, get a fucking replacement. Get a man who can do the job. It does mean all this shit. You can't be sentimental. It's not sentimental FC. Right, okay, I'm just saying, Soloman is a decent footballer, and who are you planning on bringing in? Get him gone and get a replacement in. Yeah, big lad, let me know when he gets here. Let's have it. On the midfield choice and the fact that we didn't really offer much against Bristol yesterday, I agree we didn't offer much. I thought it was a boring game. I thought we had a better first half than them, and the second half was drab. He's put, we will not name yet, unless told. Farker is scared to death to take the shackles off them, meaning the whole team. He's sat with two defensive midfielders against Bristol City, for fuck's sake. Tactically inept and scared. Now, I don't even have to talk about that because that is just so ridiculous. They're not two defensive midfielders. We've all agreed, surely, that Rothwell and Tanaka are about as progressive as a centre midfield partnership as we're going to get at the club in the next 10 years. So neither of them are sort of defensive-minded first, I wouldn't have said. There was genuine worry about playing both of them together, not just off Farker, the inept and scared quality manager that we've got that will take us up into the Premier League. I'll just let that one burn where it is. So that is this week's episode of The Biggest Idiot Wins. Very much, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that thing. I appreciate every which one here. Slightly longer episode today, but we got plenty to get through. A few talking points. Let me know what you think in the comments. I do try and get back to everybody. I've been busy lately, but I will get back to everybody today. I'm off out for a few slurries for my mate's birthday, so ignore the spelling mistakes and whatnot. Bing, bang, boom. Check my tunes out. Ish, bosh, bish, peace. Boom. JackCity, bitch. 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 JackCity. Hey! I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.